I've always been pretty fascinated by the AMG engine building program because they actually, whatever you say about the cars, their engines are super legit. And the V12s and stuff.
One man, one engine. It's hand assembled by one person, start to finish. Like, yeah, it's neat. It really is. It was really cool. It was cool to be a part of it.
They have some cool engines and cars and stuff like that. It's almost a shame that like they don't get the aftermarket like maybe like BMW and Audi gets.
Yeah, they're locked down more. Like there's a small aftermarket there. Like, but it's just, I tell everyone, it's like, it's not the car to do that. Like,
it would be cool though, because some of them, especially some of like the older ones, had some like high power capable engines. It's like, oh, like it's a twin turbo V8, but like you can't do anything with it.
You could like tune it and put a downpipe on it, and like that's like pretty much the end of it. You're gonna really mess things up.
Yeah, but they would give you so much like on the outside appearing cool hardware, and then like
it would
not let you have at it.
Yeah, it's just not the car for it.
So, have you ever wanted like other platforms? Like the Coyote's great and all, but like, has the allure ever been there for like a different engine? Even like now, as you like start to really ring out the Coyote, are you like, I learned all this, but like, I could take that and like step up to something like that has more capability.
Right. Well, I think that...
But I don't know what that would be.
I don't know. I'm still just having a blast. Like, I think far ahead, but I don't think that far ahead when it comes to that stuff, in a sense, to where, like, I would never told you we would be here talking today and my car would be nearly as fast as it is. And it's not done yet. Maybe the day that it's just like, all right, like, this is it. Like, it's never going to do more than what you want it to do. But, like, right now, like, drag and drive capability is still like number one on my list for the car that I own and race. And yeah, I'm gonna keep rocking that engine. Like,
really, drag and drive is still like peak in your mind.
So right now,
what to do with the car?
We have the like having a goal to achieve besides just like winning that event or like a points championship is fun because it's more of a long-term thing. Like, and what we did last year at Sick Week was like, it was secretly, that's what I wanted to do going into that race. I didn't know if it was going to be possible. And then second day, Jeff had a bad pass and handed in something not that quick. And then I saw the opportunity, and that's when we really put our heads down and went for it. And we did it, and we won the overall. Now that puts us third, like all-time overall for any drag and drive. Average, the 634.
So it would be Lutz, Bailey.
And then me.
Yeah.
It's a six. There's a 619.7 and a 6.
I think it's Lutz.
Yeah, Lutz is 619.
Is it Lutz or
Bailey has the fastest pass ever.
Yeah.
And then Lutz has the fastest average.
Okay.
So it's like, could we beat a 619 average?
I mean, it's very possible, right? I mean, it's definitely.
I mean, one of those cars probably definitely can. Like, I feel like there's going to be. I think this year is going to be. We're going to have our hands full. I think there's going to be some big tire guys out there. Like, okay, we can't let this radio guy do this to us.
Or even another small tire guy, but I don't know who.
Well, it'd be Devin. Devin's car is going to run.
It'd have to be Devin.
Like, he stripped it all the way down to nothing. I don't know if you saw, like, to get weight out of it, because that car was heavy. It was, 3,100 or maybe a little more.
Building a convertible, who would have thought? Wouldn't be heavy.
Well, no, but he had, like, air jacks and stuff in it, like...
Well, he's bougie.
No, yeah, but it was awesome. Like, it was definitely a more of a driving car it was a really good blend of both.
He's a bit bougie like that, though.
Yeah, where me, I'm like unbolting my windows every day because like I don't care if it takes me 10 minutes to unbolt my windows.
Yeah, so I mean, it'd be really crazy to see the smallest motor on the list, the smallest tire on the list, even bump up one more to number 2 on the list.
Like it's not out of reach, right? So like, why not pursue it?
I get that. I guess I didn't realize you were that passionate about drag and drive stuff. I know, like, it's the opportunity is so easy because it's so close.
Sure.
Like when it was Rocky Mountains, it was like, it's like all the way out there.
Yeah.
But being so close, I figured it was more of like, it's like right here. I might as well like, it's a good race and it's fun, but it's also being so close, kind of.
Well, I think it just kind of separates my car from every other fast race car. there's plenty of cars that are as fast or faster than my car. But like the versatility of my car is what really makes it a lot of fun to me, because it's not just, you know, an X275 or an LDR car, which those cars are super impressive in all their own rights, making the combos work for the constantly changing rule sets and being as fast as they are. But like for us in the style of racing we do, like the tracks are changing consistently, the conditions, the weather, all that kind of stuff. And then you add a drag and drive into that to a set of variables that you don't even know what they're going to be, because it's over 5 days at 4 different racetracks.
You do know the variables are going to suck. You know that. You know it's going to be tough.
Right. Like,
and you know there's going to be days with shit track prep, or
you know, or
you're going to show
degrees.
up to,
this day's hot, this day's cold because we're in Georgia.
You're going to show up in Gainesville raining. And be like, oh shit.
You missed the first pass and now your fastest attempt is over.
Yeah. It's that challenge that's very different than other.
Yeah, it's not like a normal, you're not heads up racing. It's a totally different set of challenges. And like when you take off, you feel it, the feeling never changes. First day, like setup day, test day is cool, but like when you hook up and you pull out of OSW or wherever the first track is, and you go out on the road and you're sitting in my car, which is not a comfortable street car, and it's pretty loud and, you know, things, and you're just like, this is it. We have a week of this, and we have how many ever 100 miles, and anything could fail or not make it.
Kind of cruising at, I don't know, what, 60?
60, or someone could pull out in front of you and wreck you because like your visibility is not that great.
That's happened to a few Dragon drivers.
You know what I mean? Like, it's really unknown variables to where like normal class racing, you know, it's pretty much the same variables every weekend, just depending on like track conditions or
you broke your hitch recently.
Oh yeah, like
the last one.
We had a failure every single day, but the last day,
Oh yeah, you lost the bumper as well.
Right, due to the hitch issue and then the rear gear, up to Georgia.
Oh yeah, I do remember that one as well. That was quite a week.
Yeah, it was a long one, but like that's just it. Like you're just in it. Like you just, you know, figure it out.
So your car, I feel like, has, you know, the old car, you had more engine capability than chassis.
Yeah.
Now you have more, like, you still again seem like you have more engine capability than chassis.
We're getting there.
Which is interesting because, like, I did not think that I didn't think that this chassis, you were going to, like, max it out with that engine combo, but it seems like it's pretty far along to what it can do.
It's far along. We're running it hard. Like
1060 foots.
Yeah, like it went 105 or 1049 on that 399 pass, and that was with some weight on the nose that shouldn't really be up there, and that was like the next setting past that. Like it was on a 102 60 foot, but it tried to flip over. Like so it was like we had to slow it down to that. So like traction was there, but the wheelie aspect of it's not there. Like where like if you look at the back splits, like it's not fast enough to the 330 for the 8th time that's running. Like,
yeah, so for people that don't know, when you look at a time slip, if you really know what you're doing, you start to do some math on the 60 to 330, and then you do the
330 to the 8.
Yeah,
like
and then you do 330
long it took
to
you to
8,
get to that section of the track or this section.
See, even me, I don't do it on my car because I'm not quite fast enough to. I don't need to do it frequently. Done it a couple times, but it's like, okay, it doesn't really change a whole lot.
Yeah. So we see ET there. Like you see ET, you know, you see the ET and you go after it. Like that's just what it is. So it's like, okay, we can make it wheelie less. Like the chassis is starting to.
But based on, like, what? You see ET there based on someone else's pass?
Or based on
what you think it can do?
Or based on the fact that it was on a 102, it had enough traction and power to go 102, but it was trying a wheelie. So that, you know, you need to fix that with wrenches.
Yes, but...
You fix it with the keyboard, it just slows you down, which is what we did that night to be able to complete the run.
When you were racing Keith.
No, that was the night we went 399.
Okay, yeah, that was the night I went 399.
Yeah.
And it was in 8th mile trim that time.
Yeah, it didn't have enough gear ratio to make it to the quarter. Like we went through high gear, you know, at the engine speed we went to at the 8th.
Because I was thinking about the other pass at Mod Knots when you raced, or Was that the reunion when you and Keith raced? Yeah.
The finals. That was the best race of my life.
And Keith was on here right before that, and he said he came down here to beat you.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've beat him a couple times now, so he's really wanting to beat me.
Yeah, and then it was.
And I love
really
it. Like, the car's so fast, and he's such a good racer. Like,
it was one of the best races of the night. I mean, I think everybody was on the starting line for that one.
It had to been for a long time. Like, what did we were side by side 230, like 0.0 something win margin. Like, it was sketchy because I've never someone is there. But like going through and then the shutdown process with 2 cars and 4 shoots out at 2:30,
you can feel
at night at BMP when it's dark. And
you can feel when a car's like right on you, which is an awesome feeling.
And then you're pulling the steering wheel off because you're literally nosing them at the finish line.
And that's rare that there's races that are that close in like our style racing.
Yeah, that's
like in X275 and like LDR and stuff, like every race is like that. But like in streetcar ish or
in the quarter mile form, other than NHR race, there's none like that because like the 8th mile, even when they get that close, it seems like it's over so fast it doesn't get as dramatic.
Yeah,
as the quarter mile stuff because you have you're watching the race for a longer period of time.
Yeah, there's no way to come around somebody in an 8th mile race really.
It's one at the 330 or the 60 foot.
Yeah, it's like pretty over, but like a race like that, and especially because your car kind of does some it kind of creeps out on people the way that you guys use it,
right?
Where it can actually like edge people out, which is pretty crazy to see. Even when you raced,
it's fast past 100 foot.
I'm thinking of Cocomelon, where it was out on you, and then you creeped up.
Yeah, you don't want to if you're next to me at 100 foot, you want to be way ahead of me because it's not gonna
I think you beat Garrett a similar way where you guys were next to each other, and then I don't know if his car spun that time.
He spun that time.
Yeah. I think it was gonna.
Yeah, that was when it went.
He would have had. He would have had you though. Not
all
laughing.
the comments definitely said he would have had me.
And not to laughing at like a 640 car. Like obviously it's incredibly fast.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I'm not.
Well, that's just like our rivalry online or whatever. Like the 2 cars actually, not us.
Reminiscing on some passes now here that people are going to be like, why don't you put them all in? Let me just go find all 50 of your passes here real quick.
Yeah, right.
And even TX2K this year where you were with Lund, and it's a Brett Lasala podcast, so you have to talk shit about Lund. So
oh no,
I'm just kidding. We could actually clear some of that up though.
Yeah, sure.
That you and Lund have a good relationship and are friends.
We have a great relationship. We are. Well, I'm seeing on Monday my Falcon. We're gonna play with it on his dyno.
There you go. Because every time you go on a podcast, somehow it ends with people thinking you are talking shit about.
I think
Lund.
whoever's podcasting me knows how to trigger something with me and Motec or Stock ECU, and then he's the best Stock ECU tuner, so then he gets put into it.
Yeah, and somehow it just ends up as being like a rivalry of you two, and not just a rivalry of the cars, which is normal, you and Garrett, car rivalry, but you guys actually talk and you help him at points.
Yeah, I'm always confused when I see something like that because I'm like, oh no, I don't know. I'm we're fine.
The rivalries in racing usually start and end at the starting line, and then when you turn off, it's kind of over at that point.
Sure.
It's not really too serious, maybe because I'm not that serious of a person.
I'm sure there's some more people that just don't like a person for not liking a person, and then that's just more of a personal rivalry that they're taking out in racing.
Yeah. Jim's rivalries seem like they're just with people that make rules.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where it usually happens with him. It's just him and the tech guy or the rule guy.
Right, he always ends up at tech for some reason or another.
Fighting with someone.
Yeah. It's just cut and dry. If it's not cut and dry, then Jim's gonna find the way to tell you you're wrong.
Yeah, his car is pretty cheatered up. I keep getting on him for that because
Jim's car, that thing is a stock Mustang 3-link. I mean, put a little wider wheel on it so it looks better, so it doesn't have to sit all tall anymore. But
yeah, of course.
Just move the wheel in
just to lower it just a little.
Just a list of for looks and aero.
Yeah,
a little lower.
It's not easy to lower those stock suspension S197s.
They all poke the wheel out after you get one mini tubbed and down, but it's a lot of effort to do that. So there's not a lot of them like that, right?
Yeah.
But,
well, his car
so much better.
His car was pretty sketchy going 200.
Oh, yeah, I needed more roll cage, no doubt. I mean, I did it with the green car when I first had it, I went 690 200 with 10-point.
Yeah, it's sketchy. That's wild.
But it's like all the modern cars, the chassis are so good that you can get away with it because they don't flex that much. But if you're crashed, then you're gonna not be safe. But at some point, it still is flexing. Like his car will race better with the cage. Like
it'll be more consistent. And everything.
There's no doubt it's gonna race better.
And with all the new suspension stuff in the back and
it's just 3-link.
Yeah,
new shock.
The 3-link. 9-inch at least.
Right, it's heavier.
Yeah,
takes more horsepower to turn.
Yeah, sounds like James with his 8.8 in the 240.
It's true.
But I think he's only like 1,800 pounds, so it you can kind of get away with that when you're 1,800 pounds. But that's why, like, when a gust of wind hits the track, you see his car shift, like a light breeze, and suddenly his car's like moving around at the top end. You're like, maybe that's why, you know?
That's like the Fox bodies like doing quarter mile stuff. I think when Curtis was racing the reunion or whatever, he made a couple passes, and he's like, this thing is not happy up at like 1,000 feet, like feels sketchy. And I'm like, my car's a Cadillac. It's long, it's heavy. I'm sure like I haven't raced a light car as fast as I'm going, but I'm sure there's a difference.
Guys, thank you for tuning in to the Bogetti Clips YouTube channel. For the full podcast, check us out on Bogetti Studios YouTube and all your audio platforms. Also, hit that subscribe button to not miss out on any of the new Bogetti clips coming up.